It's a tough name, so I've had to live with it for 47 years. It's nice to see both of you.
Yes. All right, forgive me, I'm a little nervous, so if I start to stutter or anything, my bad.
Okay, so how about you give a brief introduction of yourself?
Sure. So my name is Bill Peduto. I serve on Pittsburgh City Council. I've actually served on City Council now for 10 years as a member of City Council, which makes me the old guy. I represent the area all the way from East Liberty down to Carlow University, the end of West Oakland, the beginning of the Hill District, from Bloomfield out to Squirrel Hill. So it's a pretty diverse district. It's got a lot of different things happening in it, a lot of change actually that's happening in it, but it really is the possibility of what the future of this city could be.
Okay, what made you get into what you like to do? Like, what made you get into all this?
Yeah, you know, it was probably when I was about your age. I came from a family that, you know, never had a political sign in their yard. They never got involved in campaigns or anything like that. That was for somebody else. But I always had an interest in it. And when I was younger, I was told not to even bother getting into that. Go to school, get good grades, and then go work for a company. But I wanted to go a different way. So by the time I was a senior in high school, I was the student body president of my high school, but I had to keep it a secret from my parents. I mean, I wasn't going to, because they would get upset if they found out I was doing extracurricular activities, even good ones. But I always knew it's what I wanted to do. So what I had to do, and because I didn't have the connections, I had to work twice as hard. And I did what I did, and I got the degrees that I needed, and I did the things, but I always had to have a second job just in case. My dad always told me that, you know, at least get a teacher certificate or a real estate license so you don't end up without a job someday. But I pushed myself. I knew I wanted to do it. I knew if I worked hard at it that I'd be able to do it, and I did it that way.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what is your thoughts on this? Like, how is this beneficial to the community?
You know, it's a day-to-day thing. It's a really good question because there really isn't anything in government or politics that's like in a football game where you score a touchdown. You know, you can work really hard to get a bill passed, but you don't know what the long-term effects will be. So I think it goes back to the Wizard of Oz, which is a kind of weird things, right? And you remember the Wizard of Oz? You had the Scarecrow, you had the Tin Man, and you had the Lion, and they're all looking for something, right?
Yeah.
And so the Tin Man was probably one of the most important because the Tin Man was looking for heart. So if you think about that in government, that means that you really have to know and believe what you're doing is for the right reason. But you got to have some smarts, which means you're going to have to figure out how to figure out that path, both politically and strategically. And then the most important thing, you're going to have courage to get it done. So if at the end of the day you feel good about what you did and you feel it was for the right reason, I think that is that measure of success.
Okay, during all this, did you ever like any doubts in yourself or anything going through this process, hiding from your parents? Like, was there any times like you just wanted to say forget it?
Every day. At least once a day. I mean, just with different little things about it. There's always this question of whether you can do it, whether you can get it done, and whether you're doing it and will have a positive benefit for people. And I don't care if it's somebody calling up and complaining about their garbage not being picked up, because you know what 90% of my job is? Filling potholes and picking up garbage. But there's always times that you're going to question yourself, and that's okay too. Because if you ever feel that you're able to do it without any problems, then you're probably in a job that you're too good for. And if you feel that there's sometimes when you have doubt whether you can do it, then you're going to be challenging yourself and always getting that little bit more out of yourself. I bet you that there isn't a day that there isn't a guy on the Steelers or on the Penguins or on the Pirates that doesn't feel that they aren't going to be able to do it. Look at the Penguins right now. They're losing to Philadelphia, but they're coming back because they believe in themselves and being able to push it. It happens in sports. It happens in media. It happens in every part of life.
So what is your favorite part about what you do?
This. I enjoy it all. I've been doing it long enough that it's something that, you know, I guess people would say isn't my job anymore. It's my hobby. It's become part of me. You know, people would say also, I'm sure the guys that were here earlier would tell you that's unhealthy. You got to have another part of you other than your work. But I think that if you're really lucky in life, because you got to remember this, the next 40, 50 years, you guys are going to be waking up every morning and having to do something.
School.
School, but then after that, it's something else.
Yeah.
If you work hard in the early parts and you get to do something that you love, then you're blessed in life. I don't care what the salary is or what your car is or what kind of shoes you're wearing. What matters is that every day you get to do something you love. What my favorite part of my job is my job.
Wonderful. All right, can I get a round of applause for Bill Peduto?
Thank you so much. Good job. Thank you. Great job. Thank you.
Do you know anyone doing great things in the community that we can feature on the Sun Spotlight? Email us at standupnownetwork@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/standupnownetwork.